Welcome to the She Nailed It show, where faith meets foundation and every renovation tells a redemption story. I'm your host, Danette Galvis, and we're not just transforming a house, we're rebuilding lives. On this show, we'll talk about real challenges, real faith, and the blessings that come when you don't give up. From recovery and restoration to faith and fresh starts, this is where we discover that what once broke us is actually building us. So grab your hard hat and your heart, because on the She Nailed It show, we're fixing up homes, finding purpose, and proving that with a little faith and a lot of courage, you can nail it too. Welcome to the She Nailed It show. I'm your host, Danette Galvis, and today we have a special guest. Kristen Williams is a contributing author as well in the She Nailed It book, From Valley to Victory, that has 13 different authors and women that have come to do this podcast with me, to do this book, and to share their story of hope. So thank you for being here, Kristen. Welcome to the show. So with being in this book, I know you personally, so it's been great to really go on this journey of podcasting, right? This is new to both of us, and we're embracing all of it, all the challenges that are coming with that. But writing a book and really opening yourself up to sharing your testimony, what made you decide to go for it?
Oh, gosh. When you had first asked me about sharing my story, I was super excited and honored, of course, to even be considered for it. But I really had to pray because while I was excited, I had a lot of anxiety about it. I've never been a writer, never really opened up and told a lot of people my story. And so there were a lot of fears behind just sharing those things. But after a lot of prayer and support from close friends,
me calling you for a few times, I think.
Yes. The Lord just spoke to me and told me that I needed to share it.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you for doing that. It is an amazing story. So many valleys, if I just may say. We do in life where there are many valleys, not just one. You have conquered quite a bit. But today we're talking about the way you help women investors in real estate. Share with them what you do and what your career is now.
So I am a mortgage loan officer, and I primarily work with investors on their financing. I also do traditional lending, but
that's where you got started, right?
Yes.
Is traditional.
Yes. So my background is underwriting. I've been in the mortgage industry now 20 years. So
that's great. And you also are an investor.
I am.
Right? You have done some flipping and remodeling. You have done tell a little bit about what you've done in your investing career.
So, I joined the Women's Real Estate Investors Network in December of 2022. At that point in time, I left my mortgage career to do that full time. And just being the person I am, I dive in with both feet. And I did 6 flips in 14 months.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And did you have specialized financing for those, or were you using your resources? If you stepped out of mortgage, then how did you finance them?
So I actually did not even know about PMLs until I joined the network.
Right.
So all of my projects were working with other ladies in the network. I would fund part of the projects, and then they would help me with the funding. Yeah,
the partnerships are beautiful. And now you have gone back into mortgage. And what company are you with?
I'm with Edge Home Finance.
And you have been so busy. We were just talking before recording that her phone is is constant, whether it be Messenger on Facebook or emails or getting a closing done. Like, this has really become a full circle moment where you've been called to this because you're serving a community of women that have certain questions, right? If you have questions on mortgages, you're buying your most expensive investment, whether you're doing multiple investments or buying your own personal home. If you're listening to this and you're really just looking for a personal mortgage, that's the most stressful purchase that someone could make. There are so many things that change in a lending process. And, that's what's so great about having a mortgage broker, especially like Kristen, because she can relate. She can pivot. She can totally go into, wait a second, I have another option for you, or she's going to go and research it and get back to you. So share with the listeners maybe a story or an example of how you've helped someone get a property to close, whether it be an investing deal or a private.
So one thing about me is, with my underwriting background and the knowledge from being an investor as well, I know how to get creative when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And not every transaction fits the box. And you know this personally,
mm-hmm.
From what we've worked together on.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to get creative and find the workarounds to make things work. And I'm not like a lot of lenders. I'm going to invest the time because I like for my clients to feel that I'm there for them in their best interest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't push certain things on people if that's not the best fit for them. And so I always just try to work through each unique situation, connect with my client to understand their goals, and just look for the best options for them long term, because it is such a big investment and such, an intimate process for people, whether it's your personal home or you're building your portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big commitment.
Right. Whether it's your first purchase or your 10th purchase, they're usually not the same. Every deal is different. And that is where this creative thing that she's speaking of comes into play. And when I say creative, it's not that you're doing anything outside of the box that's, let's say, illegal or not correct, because you have, your standards and guidelines you have to follow as a mortgage broker. But what you have access to is not just a big bank. It's not just a, let's say, Bank of America, or, a large facility that has strict guidelines. You actually have investors that want to lend out their money. When she mentioned PML a minute ago, that's private money lending. And private money lending is a thing. And there are many private money lenders out there that have a large amount of money. So if you need $1 million property, she's going to have someone possibly in her Rolodex to call. If you have an interesting situation like this sober living house, it's not a normal thing to refinance, but you were able to help me with the specialized knowledge that you have as an investor and mortgage broker for 20 years to help me find the right fit of that program, of that offering that's out there. Speak to that. Most people don't even know that you can go outside of Bank of America.
So as a mortgage broker, I have about 120 different lenders that my company can work with.
Mm-hmm.
And not every lender is the same.
Right.
You have your standard guidelines in mortgage that applies to everyone, but then different lenders have their different overlays. So which will restrict the amount that you can finance your loan to value. So I had a lady contact me yesterday. She had spoke with another company and they told her she was going to have to bring about $60,000 for her refinance.
Wow.
I said, why? I can put money in your pocket. So it's just a difference. Who you work with really matters. And just, building that trust for one, and knowing that you're working with someone that's actually in working for your best interest. And, you know, if I can't do every loan, and I recognize that, but I am not going to just give up on something. When it gets difficult, I'm going to fight and I'm going to look for options. And sometimes, you know, not everything works.
Yes.
It's just life.
Yeah.
But, I put my heart into it.
That's
and I
amazing.
wear the emotions with my clients. You know, I just try to be there for them and support them and make them comfortable and understand the process.
Yes. Yes. Well, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll have more conversation with Kristen Williams. Stay tuned.
In life, we all face valleys, moments of pain, challenge, and struggle. But it's what we do in those moments that defines us. She nailed it. Inspiring stories of going from valley to victory brings together powerful women who turned adversity into strength and strength into purpose. Led by Danette Galvis with chapters from inspiring voices including Terry DeGrande, Erica Butler, Corey Beth Lepowski, Teresa Todd, Catherine Sorensen, Katika Estevez, Christina Good, Denise Sandkamp, Megan McDermott, Kristen Williams, and Jessica Weaver. These stories will inspire you to believe in your own comeback, reminding us all that victory is always possible. She nailed it. Inspiring stories of going from valley to victory. Available now on Amazon. One book, countless stories of hope. Get your copy today.
Welcome back to the She Nailed It show. Today, we're here with Kristen Williams, and she's a mortgage broker who took a contributing chapter in the She Nailed It book in the series. You can buy this on Amazon. All proceeds go to help serve women in sober living homes that need financial resources. So scholarships are being created for women that have to build back and get back on their feet. That's what this book is about, from valley moments and into victory. And in the space of sober living, just speaking about how women can come back from addiction. So thank you for being a part of the book. Thank you for investing into the book, investing into the women's lives in this way, and then also being here today in studio to share your story. So share with us a little bit. You know, God has used a lot of hard moments in your life to bring you to your calling. And we were just talking a minute ago about the mortgage industry, as that's what she's done. She's done it for over 20 years. You dabbled a little bit in investing, flipping and remodeling, also being a real estate agent. Like, what moment did you realize something had to change in your life? Where did it start for you? And how have you just grown to know that this is where you're supposed to be and this is your calling?
So like I mentioned, I had been in mortgage on the underwriting side for about 17 years. And I left my career to do investing full time. During that process, relocated from California back to Texas, and was doing the flips full time. And about a year and a half into that, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. So that was in 2024. And
Wow.
While going through that journey, I didn't know what my treatments were going to look like. And so I got my real estate license. I had just started that right before my diagnosis. So I got my realtor license.
Wow.
And I came back into mortgage part-time at that point. And just as I finished my cancer treatments and the more connections I made in mortgage through the network and working with different ladies, it just brought me back to doing this full time. And I'm really blessed that this network, the Real Estate Investors Network, has been so much more to me than just learning about investing.
Yeah.
Just the support during my cancer journey, the amazing connections I've made, some close friends with ladies through my time in the network. And now I feel like God has used me and brought me back into mortgage to contribute back to the ladies of the network.
Yes.
And so I feel very, very blessed that it's kind of come full circle. Because I never joined the network thinking that I would be contributing in the way that I have.
Yes. That's amazing. Just the way you wrap that up. Like it is so true that you step into wanting to maybe learn how to flip and remodel houses and get private money lending. And then here comes this life event and, something that could take you out as cancer. And you fought, like you mentioned the word fighter before we went to commercial break. And now you're bringing in this valley moment that you're just like, what happens now? And you went through it. You're a survivor of cancer and you're in remission, right? Praise God. That's amazing. And you're working harder than you ever have. So this being your calling, you talk about your heart into it. Like it's a rewarding thing too, to help someone speaking as an agent. And then the mortgage, like agents show the properties to find the right fit, and mortgage brokers are a part of the team. And I'm so happy to say you're a part of my team because I call you, but I can also know that when I have a contract and it needs to go to someone that's going to help a family out, that you're going to really work hard to get that to close. That there might be a bump in the road. You might have to prolong closing or change a closing date. You're going to do everything you can to make it happen. And that is the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest job. Part of the real estate transaction is getting it closed at the closing table. Working with the title companies, working with the real estate agents, working with the client. And it is truly a team effort that helps someone buy a new home that they can. It's an American dream to have that and to grow in their investments if they are an investor, but also first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, someone that wants to find a fixer-upper. You can help with all of that. So I love that God's not finished with you yet, because who knows what's coming next, right? With your story and sharing it. Thank you for being vulnerable about the cancer diagnosis and working through that. You have a lot to offer. And the women that come to you, I've only heard great things from women in the network. And so thanks for serving that community as well with your whole heart.
For me, it's not transactional. To me, it's the relationship building and the building the trust. And so the next time they need financing or they know someone that needs financing, I want to have that relationship and that level of trust with them,
right? Where
they don't feel like I'm just there for the transactional side of it. And that's as a realtor and as a lender. It's those lifelong connections that you make.
Yes. Well, not to mention the future business, because we're from that. And if you're working with an investors, some can do 3 deals a month, right? 3 closings a month. So that is just having that rapport and having that commitment back and forth. That is the team you want, the bond you want, and being able to continue to do more deals because they know and trust you're going to handle it. So, Kristen, thank you so much for being on the show. Share with the listeners if they needed to get in touch with you for mortgage lending, any questions, anything that you might be able to offer. How would they get in touch with you?
Yes, and they can email me directly at Kristen, that's Kristen, at kwmortgageteam.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for this time today. I love all the insights that you've given and just being a heartfelt person that's really out to help people with mortgages. And by the way, you are a real estate agent. So if someone is in the Fort Worth area, they could reach out to you also through that email for real estate help. Thank you again for being on the show.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for the She Nailed It show, episode 13, but season 1. So thank you so much for being a part of this journey of our first season, and stay tuned for season 2 and more to come. Take care. That's a wrap on this episode of the She Nailed It show. I am so honored you spent this time with us today. If you enjoyed the show, click follow or subscribe, drop a review, and share the episode. This really makes an impact for the next person needing courage along their journey too. Want to stay connected and be inspired by more stories and victories? Visit kingdomrehabher.com and follow me on all social media platforms. Until next time, keep nailing it one step at a time.